Hi guys, Loz here with another Shadowverse video. So this time I wanted to do a walkthrough of one of the most popular decks on the ladder, the Banner Swordcraft deck. Um, this is an aggro deck, as you can probably tell by the curve. It's heavily favoured towards the early game. It's very cheap to make. It's only around 4,000 vials, and it's rife on the ladder at the moment. I mean, at least up to the rank I've been at, it's from D to B rank. It's probably at least 40% of the games, maybe even 50% of the games that you play will be against this deck. So it's rife on the ladder. It's very powerful and it's very cheap, and so that's why everyone's playing it at the moment. So let's have a look at the deck. Around half of the deck is basic cards, by the way. So if I put turn on basic only, you can see 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 cards in the deck, including the main card that drives the deck, are all basic cards. So you can almost start by making this deck right off the bat when you start the game. So that's why a lot of people make it. Let's look at some of the cards in the deck. I mean, we've got Quick Blader, a 1/1 Storm minion, so this is quite an aggressive card. You'll play this, you'll attack the face. Mentor's Teaching, it's an aggressively slanted card and it allows you to draw a card. I mean, it's not a particularly good card on its own, but it gives you that little bit extra burst, and you also get to cycle it. Oathless Knight, just a good card. I mean, it summons another knight, so it's 2/1/1, so it's just good for flooding the board. This is good for getting damage in kind of the next turn, so you'll play it. It's virtually impossible for them to remove it, and then next turn you can evolve it, or you can just attack into it to get a favourable trade, or more than likely just go face and let them have to deal with it. This is a very good card. It gains Storm if you have a commander in play. The Banner, which drives the deck, as we'll see in a minute, is actually a commander. So if you've got the Banner in play, you can play this and just get Storm straight away. So this is a very powerful card. This card is just really for digging for the Banner. Put a random commander your deck in your hand. That's really all you'll play this for. Otherwise, if you've already got the Banner in your hand, there isn't really much reason to play this card. It's got very weak stats for 2 mana, so you'll probably want to play something a bit different. You probably want to play one of the other 2 drops over this. Ascetic Knight, again, floods the board. You get 2/1/2s. The idea of this deck is to just flood the board as much as possible. As you'll see, this is a 3 mana 2/2 Storm, so Storm, again, this is for getting in the damage. So this deck is either flooding the board with minions or Storm minions to get some damage in. So you can see where this is going. This is a very flexible follower. So with this follower, it gains Storm if you have a commander in play. So if you have the Royal Banner in play, you can charge this minion into something. It's got Bane, so you can use this for removing big taunts, you can use this for removing very problematic followers, or you can just use it for getting the last little bit of face damage in. So it's a very flexible card, very useful card. Floral Fencer, I don't think there's any Swordcraft decks without Floral Fencer. It's just so powerful. I mean, the evolve function on this minion, is, on this follower, is just incredible. So you summon a 2/2 and a 1/1. When you evolve it, which is just crazy amounts of value. So Royal Banner, this is the card that actually drives the deck. So what this does is, it's an amulet that you play on the board. It's a commander, so if it activates a lot of the commander effects, and it gives 1/0 to all allied officers. That's all it does, but it makes all of your followers on the board do 1 more damage. So if you've got 4 followers on the board, which you should have if you've flooded the board effectively by turn 4, you do an extra 4 damage each turn. That's quite powerful, and it's quite hard to stop, really. So that's the whole thing that drives this deck, and it also gives 1/0 to anything that comes into play thereafter. So it basically just gives that little extra damage to all of your minions, all of your followers. Dance of Death is like Ruthless Assault. It's just another way of getting rid of a problematic minion. It also deals 2 damage to the leader, which is nice, so you can use it to get that last little bit of extra damage if you really need it. It's mostly for just clearing out taunts, clearing out hard to beat minions that you just can't kill. Useful card. Avant Blader, again, this card you don't really want to get. unless you've kind of gone. So with this deck and with all aggro decks in general, you want to have them killed by turn 7. Turn 7 is kind of your key turn where they should die on turn 7. That's what all of these decks are designed for. This card is kind of your backup plan, because you'll most likely have run out of steam by the time you get to turn 7. You'll have splurged out your whole hand. You'll probably just be top decking. This is what you want to top deck, really. That's why this is in the deck. So you top deck this, you play it, and you get another 2 cards to kind of refill and go again, and have another go to try and push in to kill them off. So that's why this is in the deck. Alweda's command is slightly different. So this is kind of this has 2 functions. So this summons a pirate and a Viking. So this summons a 2/3 ward and a 3/2 storm. So you get 5/5 of stats, but you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get a taunter and a charge creature. So very, very flexible card. I mean, I haven't seen many Stormcraft decks that don't run this card. This is pretty crucial to all Stormcraft decks. Swordcraft decks, sorry. So I mean, this has so much flexibility. So you can use this to push for the last little bit of damage. If you've still got any evolve points, this can do 5 damage out of the hand, which is very powerful. It allows you to kind of stabilize a little bit if they've kind of managed to control the board a little bit, and they've now got a bit of a board. It gives you a bit of a board, and it gives you some protection, so it makes it a little bit tricky for them to get rid of you. Overall, very, very useful card. I mean, this is the most expensive card in the deck, so this is probably the only thing that you'll really have trouble crafting, but I'd highly recommend getting it. I mean, it's never a bad thing to craft this card, because like I said, it's in pretty much every Swordcraft deck. So yeah, that's the deck. So I'm going to play a game now, a ranked level, and kind of show you how it works in practice.